The sun crests the horizon, painting the candy hills in shades of sugar-spun pink and gold. Teddy grips the steering wheel, his focus fixed on the tracks stretching out ahead. He checks the pressure gauge, shifts the lever into gear, and reaches up to pull the golden whistle. A sharp, melodic blast echoes across the hills. The engine shudders, the iron wheels bite into the track, and the train begins to roll forward. Teddy turns toward the camera, his paw raised high in a wide, welcoming arc. He shouts, "Beep, beep, choo-choo, wave hello, round and round the wheels will go." The train gains momentum, humming against the rails. He keeps his gaze locked on the path, adjusting the speed as the wind catches his fur. Every movement is deliberate, signaling the start of a long day of travel. He taps his foot against the platform floor, keeping time with the rhythmic chugging of the locomotive. The world starts to slide past in a blur of vibrant color as the journey officially begins. The train leaves the open hills and enters the winding track of Candy Lane. Giant lollipops rise on both sides, their swirling colors casting long shadows across the tracks. Teddy grips the wheel firmly, leaning into the sharp curves as the engine hums a deeper, richer note. He pulls the throttle back slightly, slowing the momentum to weave between the massive candy stalks. The air smells of sweet peppermint and warm sugar. As the train rounds a bend, a row of trees with wide, smiling bark patterns comes into view. They sway in perfect synchronicity with the train's movement. Teddy tilts his head, watching the branches dip and rise as he passes beneath them. Multicolored balloons drift through the sky, bobbing in the breeze like floating fruit. He reaches out to tap a passing branch, his paw brushing against the smooth, sugary texture. The train chugs steadily forward, its wheels clicking against the rails with a rhythmic, musical cadence. Every turn reveals a new, vibrant wonder. Teddy keeps his eyes forward, steering with precision as the landscape transforms into a kaleidoscope of joy and light. The station comes into view, its roof shaped like a giant peppermint swirl. Teddy reaches for the brake lever and pulls it back with both paws. The train slows, the wheels grinding against the tracks before coming to a complete stop with a long, whistling hiss of steam. He looks out across the platform. A group of children waits there, faces bright with anticipation. As the carriages line up, the kids jump into the colorful seats, laughing and scrambling for the best spots. They wave their hands at Teddy, leaning side to side to get a better view of the engine. Teddy turns in his seat, his ears twitching as he surveys his new passengers. He watches them settle in, checking that every child is safely tucked into the carriages. The mood in the station shifts from the quiet hum of the engine to a chorus of excited voices and energetic movement. Teddy stands up, gripping the whistle cord once more, and prepares the train for its next leg. He gives a nod to the kids, who respond by clapping their hands and shifting in their seats with restless energy. The train is no longer a solo vessel. It is a moving hub of activity. Teddy turns around in the driver's seat to face the row of carriages. He holds his paws up, catching the attention of every child. With a wide grin, he claps his hands 3 times in a crisp, sharp pattern. 1, 2, 3. The sound echoes against the station walls. He then taps his feet firmly against the wooden floorboards, creating a deep, resonant thump. The children watch him intently. Teddy repeats the sequence, adding a steady, driving pulse to the movement. He claps again, then taps his feet. The kids begin to mirror him. First, a few tentative claps emerge from the back carriages. Then a chorus of taps ripples through the train. Teddy nods, encouraging the rhythm to grow stronger. He leans forward, his body swaying to the beat he has created. The passengers follow his lead, their hands meeting in the air and their heels striking the floor in perfect time. Clap, tap, clap, tap. The sound fills the train, turning the movement of the wheels into a synchronized dance. Teddy picks up the pace, his own movements becoming sharper and more precise. The connection between the driver and his passengers solidifies into a shared rhythmic language that hums with energy. Teddy pushes the tempo, his paws moving in a blur as he claps faster and faster. The rhythmic thumping on the floorboards transforms into a rapid-fire drum beat. The kids lean forward, their eyes wide, struggling to match the frantic pace of the driver. Teddy does not slow down. He increases the intensity, his own body vibrating with the speed of the beat. The air in the carriages grows thick with the sound of clapping hands and frantic tapping feet. Every child is locked in, leaning into the challenge, their laughter turning into sharp bursts of excitement. Teddy grins, his movements becoming more exaggerated and energetic. He signals for more volume, and the kids respond, their voices joining the rhythmic noise. The train seems to hum along, the wheels clicking faster against the tracks to match the mounting cadence. The music swells, rising in tone and speed until the entire train feels like a coiled spring ready to snap. Teddy watches the passengers, gauging their readiness. His paws raised high, as if conducting an invisible orchestra. The rhythm hits a blistering pace, leaving no room for error, only pure, breathless anticipation for the command that is about to come. The music reaches a deafening, joyful peak. Teddy stands up, his paws reaching toward the sky, and shouts, "Come on, let us go!" With a powerful push from the floorboards, he launches himself into the air. He hangs there for a heartbeat, arms wide, before gravity pulls him back down. The kids follow instantly, a dozen small figures leaping from their seats in unison. Their laughter rings out, clear and bright. As they reach the apex of their jump, Teddy lands with a soft thud and immediately drops his center of gravity, wiggling his entire body close to the floor. The children hit the ground and mirror him at once, their bodies swaying and wiggling in a frantic, hilarious dance. They lean left, then right, their shoulders shaking with effort and excitement. Teddy moves faster, his torso twisting low to the floorboards, and the kids mimic every turn. The movement is chaotic but perfectly synchronized, a blur of motion fueled by pure adrenaline. They wiggle in circles, their hands brushing the floor, then spring back up just to drop low again. The train rocks with their combined weight, the floor vibrating under the relentless energy of the dance. Every child is fully engaged, their movements sharp and full of infectious joy. The rhythm of the dance fades into the deep, rhythmic chugging of the engine. Teddy grips the controls as the tracks tilt upward, pointing toward the clouds. The train slows, its wheels straining against the steep incline, steel grinding against steel with a rhythmic, heavy pulse. Teddy leans forward, pressing his weight into the throttle to conquer the hill. The engine lets out a long, whistling hiss, and the train surges. Suddenly, the shadows of the hills vanish. The sky above transforms, shifting from bright daylight into a deep, shimmering expanse where stars twinkle with a steady, brilliant light. A massive, glowing rainbow arcs over the tracks, casting vibrant colors across the carriages. The train reaches the crest and levels out, gliding smoothly into the light. The wheels spin with a soft, humming vibration, no longer fighting the slope, but floating along the track. Teddy looks up, his eyes reflecting the multicolored glow. The air around the train feels charged with warmth, and the stars seem to pulse in time with the motion of the wheels. The passengers press their hands against the windows, watching the light wash over them. It is a moment of total stillness amidst the journey, a bridge between the earth and the sky, where the train moves through a tunnel of pure, radiant color. The train leaves the glowing archway and begins a smooth, rapid descent toward the valley floor. Teddy pulls the golden whistle, and the sound echoes across the landscape, signaling the end of the journey. The final station comes into view, decorated in vibrant streamers. As the train enters the platform, a sudden, thunderous pop rings out. A thick cloud of multicolored confetti erupts into the air, swirling around the carriages like a private blizzard. The train brakes with a sharp, metallic screech, coming to a halt exactly at the center of the station. Before the doors even slide open, the surrounding woods stir. Dozens of animals, rabbits, squirrels, and birds sprint and flutter from the hillsides, converging on the platform in a frantic, happy rush. They crash into the crowd of passengers emerging from the carriages. Teddy steps off the driver platform, his arms wide to welcome the arriving mass of fur and feathers. The noise is deafening, a chorus of chirps, barks, and cheers. Everyone gathers in a tight, shifting circle, bouncing on the platform. The confetti continues to rain down, sticking to their fur and clothes, as the entire group begins to stomp their feet in unison. The air is thick with the scent of sugar and the overwhelming feeling of a celebration reaching its absolute zenith. Teddy hops back into the driver's seat, his paws steady on the golden lever. He looks out at the gathered crowd of kids and animals, then pulls the whistle once more. A long, melodic blast rings out, signaling the start of the final loop. The train begins to roll, slowly picking up speed as it moves in a wide, sweeping circle around the platform. Teddy leans out from the cab, his body swaying with the motion of the engine. He begins to sing, his voice carrying clearly over the music. Beep beep, choo-choo, wave hello, round and round the wheels will go. The crowd on the platform mimics his rhythm, swaying side to side as the carriages pass them again. Teddy lifts a paw, waving with a broad, infectious energy that draws a chorus of cheers from the station. The train circles back, the wheels clicking a steady, comforting beat against the tracks. He turns his head to capture every face, every smile, his own expression glowing with satisfaction. He repeats the chorus, his voice rising in volume, urging everyone to join in one last time. The air is warm, filled with the humming of the engine and the collective sound of friends singing together. As the train completes the wide arc, Teddy maintains his wave, his eyes locked on the crowd, holding the moment of connection firmly before the engine begins to pull away from the station. The train gathers speed, the rhythmic clatter of wheels against metal tracks growing quieter as it leaves the station behind. Teddy stands at the rear of the last carriage, watching the platform shrink into a small, colorful speck against the hills. He does not turn away until the last of the waving hands are gone. The train enters a gentle bend, the engine humming a lower, softer note. Teddy turns his gaze forward, then looks back one final time, his expression steady and bright. He shouts to the receding valley, his voice clear and resonant. Teddy train will come back here. The sound echoes against the candy hills, a promise hanging in the sweet-scented air. He retreats into the cabin, his silhouette fading as the train rounds a bend and slips behind a thicket of swaying trees. The tracks stretch out into the distance, empty now, save for the faint trail of steam drifting upward. The vibrant colors of the landscape begin to soften, bleeding into one another as the light dims. The horizon swallows the train whole, leaving the world quiet and still. A sense of peace settles over the tracks, a gentle warmth that lingers long after the final carriage has vanished from sight. The screen washes out into a bright, soft glow, holding the memory of the journey in the silence.